Hey, welcome back to the channel. I've got a little project here. I have two Dell Optiplex PCs. They're a little old. They both have Windows 7 on them. I'm not quite sure which version is on which PC because they will not start up. Now, a friend of mine brought these to me, and they're similar. Both of them have the exact same hardware. One is a Dell Optiplex 780, and the other one is a 745. Now, they both have the same hard drive specifications. They both have the same amount of memory. The one on the left doesn't have a card reader. I'm guessing that it went bad at some point and was taken out because when I got the computer it didn't have it in there. So I haven't been able to get either one to turn on and boot up. So I'm gonna tear into them, open them up, and look and see if I could see any rare just problems. We'll start with the one that's actually hooked up first. Oh, must turn it on. Okay, you hear that buzzing? Now that buzzing noise, my first thought is there's a memory problem. So let me go ahead and shut this off. Unplug it. Now, both computers are making a buzzing noise, but the buzzing sound is different in each one. So we'll just go ahead. I'll leave the monitor plugged in. Mouse and keyboard. Leave them plugged in. I just unplugged the power. And now these Dell Optiplex PCs, they're small form factor. Everything's built real tight into the case. So there's a latch right above the power supply, or right next to the power supply. Pull forward, and the entire side comes off, which is really handy. So you don't have to get a screwdriver and start taking screws out. These cases were designed where you don't need any tools. They all have tabs you can lift up, and then caddies and stuff that were removable and whatnot. So it's easy to work on without any real tools. All right, let's see. Get zoomed in here. Okay, so you have your hard drive here. There's your CD drive, power supply, the memory. Looks like it's down in here, and it looks like it's not even plugged in. Looks like they're just sitting in there, which is why it's not coming on. Now these are Kingston 2 gigabyte. See if I can focus in on the label here. Focus. Come on, you had it there. There it is. It's 2 gigabytes. PC3. So I have two of them. And you want to help, if you can help it, you never really want to touch the connectors, the gold pin connectors down there at the bottom. You want to hold the chips sort of at the top, the side, when you install them. So in order to actually get down in there to plug them in, I'm going to have to take the hard drive up out of there. Now these two blue, can't see because this thing is out of focus again. You got two blue connectors, one on each side. You just squeeze them in and lift up. And the hard drive is built into a caddy with a fan right below, which is really, really helpful to keep everything cool. Since everything is built real tight into the case, you need as much airflow and ventilation as possible so you don't overheat anything. Now, kind of move this away so we can see where our memory chips plug in. Right there. And there's a slot right here And you'll need to line that up with the slot on the connector on the motherboard. Just drop it down in there and sort of press down on each end. If you press in the middle, it might not connect on the ends. You'll hear a click, one click, two clicks. There's one. Set them down. Put the other one in right next to it. One click, two clicks. Alright. I try to kind of wiggle them, make sure they're in there. And then we're just going to put the hard drive caddy back in. I'm not going to snap it down, I'm just going to kind of lay it down on there so if it's still buzzing when I try to turn it on, I take it back up. Do it again. So we'll plug the power back in. And no buzzing. Well, let's see, turn it on. Okay, so the monitor came on, which is a really good sign. If that monitor, there you go, it's working now. If the monitor comes up and looks like it's starting to boot up, you know you've made some progress. It's telling me the amount of system memory has changed, which of course it has since I actually plugged them in. And we're going to hit F1 to start the computer up. Hit F1. And it's okay. This is just a common screen saying the computer didn't shut down correctly the last time. What do you want to do? Safe mode, network command prompt support. We just want to do it normal, so it's already highlighted. Hit enter, and there we go. She's working. Now we see if it gets to the desktop. We can take the next step in leaving the computer running for maybe a half hour to an hour to see if it doesn't shut off prematurely or get too hot and throw up a blue screen. We're going to make sure that it's solid. So we'll go ahead, and once this comes up to the desktop, I'll shut it back down and we'll work on the second computer. Try to get it running. So if I can get both of these computers working, I get to keep one of them. So, which is a pretty good deal, because these little computers are great at running Linux. They can still run Windows pretty good. I don't know. I might put Windows 10 on it, but the setup is perfect for running a Linux computer. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over and plug in the other computer and see if we can't get it running too. Okay, this is the Optiplex 745. Go ahead and take the cover off. Now it's, of course, set up exactly the same as the other one, but this one has 4 1 gig memory sims instead of 2 gig memory sims. So the other computer actually has room for a little more memory expansion. This one does too if you would take them out and put the 2 gig sims in, but right now all the banks are full as far as the memory goes. And see if this sucker comes up. Oh. Okay. You hear that? I don't know if you can hear that or not. It's beep, beep, beep. We'll see if the memory, that's the first thing you want to check, because usually if it can't find any kind of memory, it won't know what to do. It'll just stop and scream at you. So take the hard drive up. Might have to go ahead and pull the DVD drive completely out of here. We don't need that for right now. Gives us more room to work with the memory sims. Since all these are full, the DVD drive was actually in the way of the back two sims, so I take it out. Looking at, so I'm going to go ahead and pull them all out and put them back in, because often if the computers were sitting for a while, or it could be dusty, it could be somebody was in here before I was and messed with stuff and didn't put them back in correctly or all the way. You just want to make sure that everything's plugged in all the way. One click, 2 clicks. Two. Okay. Make sure the hard drive cables are plugged in. Go through and make sure everything is seated down. It's not lifted up. And just like before, I'm not gonna snap it down. Just lay it right there. Plug my monitor and everything back in. We don't need the DVD drive for right now, so we'll leave it unplugged. You don't really need it. And it's still beeping. Okay. So now, pull the drive back up, and I'm going to unplug the power connector from the main board. Right there. Usually you have a can of compressed air or something that you can blow the dust off. It doesn't look too dirty in here, so there's not a whole lot of dust. We really don't need to do that. Just make sure this is all down correctly. Nope, no good. Unplug the hard drive. Make sure everything's good. Plug it back in. Doesn't take much to get a hiccup on these things. I mean, it could be something as simple as maybe even the battery. There's a little watch battery in here. It could be dead. Just go over everything. Back in here. Alright, now I've tried all the obvious stuff. Not working. So now I'm going to try to take out some memory sims to see if maybe we have a bad memory sim and it's not starting up because of that. So unplug it, and notice that the memory broke that handle on my selfie stick here. Damn. Okay, notice on the memory sims you have a white and a black. Of course, you really can't see the black. It's color coded. So what I'm going to do is take out the first one, the white one, and just lay that right there, and then turn it back on. Put the power back in. Alright. Oh, there she is. So I'm not quite sure if, well, I guess I got it in the first try. Previous span or pump failure, battery voltage is low. Okay, there's a lot of issues with this one. We would have to, looks like there might be a fan failure as well. Floppy disk failure, which there isn't a floppy disk on this, so I don't know where it's coming up with that. But this one here is going to need a lot more. Probably got to go into the BIOS settings and see if my cell phone battery just died, or it got too hot or something. It just stopped recording. So backtrack a little bit. We got the computer. I got the computer going. I got to go into the BIOS settings to reset a lot of the options. When if the little watch battery ever gets low or goes dead, you see the battery right there. Let me turn my flash on and see if that helps with. It's got to be some kind of there it is. Man, that makes me want to go back and redo this whole video, because now you can see the black clamps on the memory where the memory sims plug in. You got white and black. See, I can see. It's a miracle. Okay, you got the watch battery here. If it goes dead, all of your internal settings on your as far as the date and time and what size hard drive you have, and video card options, just every option on the hardware that's built internally, you can go into that setup and change those settings. If this battery ever goes dead, those settings will be set back to default, and that's what I'm seeing here is invalid time of day, floppy disks seek. So it's actually looking for a disk drive, a floppy disk drive that doesn't exist. So isn't necessarily a big problem, but we will have to go through the computer and reset a bunch of the internal settings. Now, it will boot. It says hit F1 to continue, and it's gonna start. So these two computers were relatively easy and simple to get working. Now, not all computers are going to be this simple. I've spent days trying to get a computer to actually come up and boot up, and I've also had to actually change out parts. Hang on a second. Well, I'm gonna have to end the video right here, because for some reason I can't really record any longer than probably 5 minutes. For some reason my phone's getting hot and it's shutting my video off. But I got the computers up and running, boot to Windows desktop. Now the next step will be to go through and back up all the pictures and potentially redo the operating system, try to get a solid working usable PC that that I could potentially either sell or maybe just use for something. Maybe I'll take it out to the shop, use it out there. But I'm going to go ahead and end this video right here and button these things back up and everything. I appreciate you watching. Stay tuned for the next project. They never know when I'm going to get another project. And hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something. And hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, because a lot of people have been telling me that they hadn't been getting any notifications. You got to hit the little bell icon that's sitting next to the subscribe button. So go ahead and hit that. And hey, stay tuned for the next project. See y'all.